topic is the do's and the don'ts to telling your partner what you do and what you don't like. You know? So I figure you need to change the narrative because most people want to go into a situation and be like, I don't like this. And then the person's like, I don't want to hear that. Right? So if you go into the situation and you change the narrative and go into it with saying, I like when you do this, I could see the person being a little bit more receptive to what you're about to tell them. Everybody has their own definitions for words, unfortunately. We can't just use the regular word definitions that are in the dictionary. We like to throw our little tidbits on it, you know? So, for example, the word good. People can say, oh, your sex is good, or oh, that was good. But what type of good is it? Is it good? Like, okay. Or is it good, good? Or is it good, good, good? Or is it, damn, that was good? You know what I mean? So because things are different, people either have different definitions or different temperatures of a word. And that could lead to confusion, especially if the other person doesn't define the word the same as you. So, making sure when you go into a situation that you guys are both have the same definition of what you're talking about is a good starter. A lot of things come into play when what feels good, right? There's anatomy and physiology, so male, female, penis, vagina. Then there's erogenous zones, and people's erogenous zones light up differently. So like somebody might get like really sensitive on their neck, and some people are like that. I don't like that, you know. But if you ask, then you'll know, and then you kind of learn and feel around, you know. But then also, like, some people prefer different types of touching, and some people prefer a lot of touching, and some people prefer more emotional connection and less touching. So it's good to kind of get to know that, because I know some females and males are like, oh, I love to be touched, I want to be loved, and then some people are like, I just want you to tell me you love me and then make love to me. Huh. Also, sexual compatibility sometimes takes a little bit of time to kind of mature. A lot of people be like, oh my God, we're not sexually compatible on the first date. Well, you didn't know that you were a freak in the sheets and you like to get your booty hole played with. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand like communication is good because you got to talk about what you like. But then you have to take it a step further because I always tell people I can show you better than I can tell you. So actions speak louder than words, basically. So show them what you like. Show what gets you on and like, oh, I like this and do this and a little bit of this and you know, that kind of shows them and lead them to what they're doing, not just expect and assume because you're going to be disappointed if you do that. And we all know sex is a sensitive subject. Bitch, don't kill my vibe, right? So sometimes like talking about stuff at the wrong time is like definitely not what you should be doing. Um, Picking the right times and appropriate times to talk about that stuff. Doing it when you're about to do it, not a good time. Um, Doing it right before you're getting ready to want to do it, not a good time. But like when something's calm and you guys are chilling and stuff like that, that's when you start to tell the person what you like, not what you don't like, what you like. A lot of people can tell you what they don't like and nobody can tell you what they do like. And that's really interesting because I always make it a point to be like, well, what do you like? Well, I don't like this. What do you like? That's what I asked you. Give your partner praise when you like something, you know, like, oh, that felt so good, or oh my God, I loved when you do that. Now, not like a dog, okay? Especially women, because I know how we can get. Oh, good boy. That was such a good boy. He don't want to be talked to like that, okay? But men also, like, hey man, I loved when you was licking the zip like that. Like, ooh. Verbal cues, not just, oh yeah, over there to the left. That's not good cues. Verbal cues work the best because that's what people understand. And then from there, you're making magic. You know what I'm saying? Oh, down. Okay? We meet somebody, and the first thing we're doing, we're taking off our clothes, and we're like, ooh, ooh, ah, ah. And it's like, and then we equivalent that to bad sex because you didn't give yourself time to be aroused. Slow down, take your time, get to know each other, get to know each other's bodies and the touching and make arousal climb, not expecting it to just be like that. I think about it this way. You've never really been taught how to have sex. You just did it, right? You watch TV, you watch stuff off, heard stuff from your friends and stuff like that. But you've never ever taken like a sexual sex course. Like, this is how you fuck them. That is already like, oh man. Then you already don't like to talk about sex because sex is like the taboo subject. Oh, we don't talk about that. So a lot of times people are not even getting a chance to even understand the body before they just dive in, and then they think like that it's just supposed to react and do things that it doesn't do when the brain kind of controls that. Well, does control that. And so you have to understand that it takes steps, not just wham bam thing. Women's research said that a lot of women that said that they had bad sex was equated to not giving sex time to create an arousal or a desire for the other person. So when they got done, they didn't get any of that. So then it was like, oh, I didn't have that feeling. So remember that. It takes time to create that. It doesn't just happen. And I know, like, for example, I be thinking when I get naked that my husband should be ready. And sometimes it takes a little, So, but that's just something that my mind thought and really wasn't really thinking about it. Like, okay, this takes time. I need to do some things because it always doesn't just happen like that. Please do not have this conversation on your wedding night or 10 years into your marriage. This is something that we should have talked about when sex started happening, because honestly, sometimes there is no sexual chemistry. And if that's the case, run. But sometimes sexual chemistry takes time to build. But there are times where people have sexual interest, and you have to talk to your partner to see what effort they're going to make to meet those sexual interests or be interested in that. If it's hard nose all across the board, you might need to move on. Take the time to grow and learn with each other, and know that learning is a continuous thing. Continuous learning is good. So always being open and having open communication about things, because sometimes people's opinions change about things. Sometimes people go through things and they're like, oh, you know what? I think I might want to try that. I know a lot of guys like that. And women, where we get to a certain age and we're like, okay, we need to up the ante, because we've been doing the same old 4 moves for the last 6 years. And is there something else? Please. But taking the time in that and making that commitment and having and reminding each other that you guys have the same objective. It's to have good sex for the both of you guys. Not for one, but both. Jeez. That being said, no arguments about a person wanting you to make them feel even better. You should not be getting upset about somebody telling you what makes them feel good. You should be grateful and accepting that they're being honest and that they are giving you and trusting you that you are able to do that and give that to them, and that they want to share that with you. That is what's beautiful about this and being open and having open communication. So have